All right, welcome back to True Sons. Once again, we are here with Week 4, talking Mizzou football, man. A nail biter of sorts, but I feel like we kind of had control of most of the game, man. So let's go opening thoughts on how we looked throughout the game. What do we like? What do we dislike? Where can we get better? What do we do well? Let's hear it, man. Start with Spoon. I want to hear about the defense. We thought we have a shutout. We didn't get the shutout. Talk to me.
First and foremost, man, I just want to say I had a flashback, man, to being in Columbia with
Mm-hmm.
one of those teams, like Boston College coming into that place, threatening what we have there, and us having a chance to defend it for the nation to see, playing against a
Yeah.
ranked opponent just, gives a different energy to Columbia. So mad ups to the environment that I saw, watching the game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and overall, defensively, when you come out there and you show that you can go out and make tackles, eliminate the explosives to a certain point. We gave up a little bit too much through the air for me. It was seemed like six or
Yeah.
seven dudes had a 14 or 15-yard catch, and that's something you're definitely gonna worry about, man. Being a little smaller in the secondary, I can see that
Mm-hmm.
on that first drive they come out and score on us and go for it on fourth and third. That was tough, man. They came out, the way they should have came out on the road. But overall, I
Yeah.
knew we respond to that. And when you got that run game on offense, it just does something that protects the defense. Man, when you can just hand it off to the guys over there and just get that ball rolling against the other squad, you know that you're going to be in a situation where if you just get them the ball back, play complementary football, you'll get something going on offense eventually. And that was the vibe of that, man. They came after us, but we responded.
Gotcha. Matt, what do you think about the offense, man? What are
Man,
some knee jerk initial? What you got?
man, listen, I was front and center, so I got a chance to see that thing up close and personal, man.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, let me say, like, the environment was electric, fellas. Like, it gave me like old school feels. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, the crowd was rocking. Like everybody was present. It wasn't just they were there; they were present. Um, and I'm gonna touch on the defensive side of the ball, Spoon. Other they had the one long drive. Other than that, it was like two kind of broken plays. You know what I mean? So I don't know if I read too much into like the yardage given up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one
Mm-hmm.
time dude dropped the ball, picked it up, and threw an 80-yard touch. You know what I mean? So it's just
Give me
things
a
like
break.
that that you can't really account for.
Yeah, that's off timing.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
it was good for me to see the offense fall behind, but then kind of put together a couple of series and kind of get back on track. Luther kind of had one of those games where it's very like Luther-esque.
Yeah.
Got him the ball in some spots, let him make some plays. Um, like I said, I thought we took a step in the right direction. I thought it was very, you know, kind of when Cody kind of hit the scene last year and we started running the ball really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
You saw us get the ground game going really well. That whole stretch scheme that we love to do. So for me, it wasn't like fireworks everywhere, but like
No.
for me, it was a step in the right direction. It was a really, really good defense. That's a good team, man. It
Yeah.
it wouldn't surprise me if we're sitting here at the end of this thing and you're talking about. I think right now you got Miami kind of being the top dogs over there, but I think Boston College is probably in that conversation to be the second best team in that division right now, in that conference, should I say.
Mm-hmm.
Mac, you spoke about the run game, man, and we got to see Noel come out and have 121 yards. We come into the season thinking it's going to be like a running back by committee. Do we think he just, showed himself to be RB1?
So I think he's the most versatile. Right? I think he's got more juice than maybe Curl, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I still think they both have a big role in the offense. And you've seen the youngster, St. Louis kid Jamal Roberts also have a
Mm-hmm.
role as well.
Mm-hmm.
He comes in, he does a lot of like the QB run stuff, uh, some max protection stuff, and then kind of like your short yardage stuff. He does a little bit of that too. So
Mm-hmm.
um, I think it's still going to be by committee. I think I think eight gives you a little more juice though. I think he can kind of do stuff in space, make you miss, and actually runs a lot harder than you think he does.
I mean, so talk to me as like, and this is for you and Spoon,
Mm-hmm.
as former players. I'm not sure if either of you have ever been in a situation where you were kind of sharing reps. Talk about how that is it good for your rhythm? Is it bad for your rhythm? I did it once, didn't really enjoy it. How do you feel?
Dude,
Man, Mac,
man,
you didn't come off
listen.
the field.
No, I didn't, but like when I first got to Philly,
Mm-hmm.
right? Kevin Curtis is the starter, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I get there, he's hurt all OTAs, right?
Mm-hmm.
All training camp. So first round draft pick, I'm taking all the reps, right? I'm going, I'm playing the second, third.
Yep.
Man, we get to the first game, first week, he gets cleared. Man, I said, no, I ain't getting no reps, man. So like I've never had to share them, but I've like been in a situation where like I thought like, hey, I had a role, and
Hmm.
like it wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. So I don't know what was promised to them, but it seems like it seems like whatever was said to those guys coming in, it seems like they both would at least be on board for it because why would both of those guys leave their respective places and
Yeah.
come here and not really know what they're getting themselves into? Now I
Agreed.
understand there's a whole recruiting tool that you use and you kind of
Hmm.
tell everybody what you want to hear and this and the third, but I
Yep.
think I think nowadays, man, when you start talking about the NIL stuff, and I think it makes you be a little more honest about like where, especially transfers, like where
Hmm.
they fit into like your plans. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Spoon, what about you, man? What about? I'm not sure you ever had that issue either, having to split time, especially when, I mean, you got a little bit of ego too. Like, I'm the guy. You know what I mean? But no, we're gonna go with the dual threat type of thing. What do you? How would you play that?
Man, it takes me back, man. That first spring at Mizzou, I was a little banged up. And
Hmm.
messed up my PCL like in pursuit drill, like the first day of spring. So Coach
Hmm.
Stet came to me. He was, I want you out that red jersey by 11 on 11. I'm like, yes, coach. You just run
Oh
through a
yeah.
brick wall for Steck. Great guy.
Hmm.
And I got out of that red, and I was back in there because I knew those other guys were competing. Those guys,
Hmm.
Brock Christopher, and Van Alexander. I was
Yeah.
rotating with those two guys in the spring. It wasn't just Spoon. You supplant it. You're right there in there, and
Yeah.
that gave me the opportunity to go out and prove myself and gain some mental
Okay.
toughness. So I kind of knew the deal. I think if you don't know the deal and like
Hmm.
Mac said, man, buddy, ready to play week one. You like, man, hold on, man. I've been putting in, all this grind. It
Yeah.
kind of it kind of feels a little shaded then, but whatever's best for the team is really always, what I've been, as far as like if my mindset about a football game. But if I'm in shape to
Hmm.
go out there and make every play, and make sure I can, be a better option than my backup, I definitely like to
Yeah.
be in there the entire game. But I think back to when the Falcons played in the Super Bowl against Tom Brady and those guys, man, we played so much man coverage, man. I remember watching like 92 plays on offense, that
Man.
we had to defend. So I think,
Hmm.
man, you definitely want to use your roster in a way that's going to be, take care of you guys because we was out there
Hmm.
playing man at the end of the game, and I know Tom Brady and them just knew they was about to run a double move and hit the play on us, because we were so
Hmm.
tired. So it's two ways to look at it. But as a player, communication is key, man. Sometimes you don't get that in these schools, like Max said, people telling you what you want to hear. But when you get your opportunity, it's best you go out there and make some plays so you ain't got to worry about it. And then when you get to the next level, it's going, the cream going to rise to the top.
Every time, every time.
Mm.
So let's talk about how we felt about it's kind of like a tale of two halves for the defense. But then you also have the offense respond quickly with some wild things that happen to our defense. Spoon, talk to me about the first drive that BC put together, and then the what I'll call is craziness, fluke, or whatever the play of the drop, snap, pick it up, toss it. Like, talk to me about how do you respond as a defense from those things happening early in the game when somebody's coming into your home field.
I think that was the medicine that they needed. I was talking about that previously. Like, what can Drink talk about? They can do better on defense.
Hmm.
How do you even figure
Hmm.
out to get these guys motivated to play D? Of course, a ranked team coming in, great
Yep.
offensive threat, ran for over 500 yards, dual threat quarterback. You knew it'd be a great challenge. So for them to come out and score on us on that first drive, man, that definitely tests you, man. You looking at each other in the huddle like, we really gonna let these guys come in here and put one
Hmm.
on us, and we ain't gave up one all year, and here they are on fourth down getting it on us. It's only one or two ways you gonna respond from that. You gonna
Yeah.
barbecue or you gonna mildew. And them boys decided to go on and barbecue. They had on them sandals like they have on IG. When you got them sandals on, you cooking. Might have some
Yes,
socks
sir.
on, but that defense came out and just shut that down. 1.9 yard per rush. I mean,
Yeah.
bro, it's next level, bro. Especially when you're running the ball 6, 7, 8 yards a pop on the other side. Like I said, complimentary football. I think about that drive right
Complimentary.
before halftime too, getting them
Hmm.
the ball back. Man, that
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
great, man. That was great to get that field goal right before half, Mac. I know you guys know how demoralizing that is for a defense when you're going in and you score on them. After they kind of, showed that, they maybe stopped you here or there, you came back
Yeah.
and put it down right before half. That gives you a chance to come out and make it pop. Am I right about it?
Yeah, Mac. How do you grade the offense? In response to some wild things happening. Like, I think as a player, sometimes, I mean, as a player, I'm watching, I'm a defense. If I see a couple turnovers on offense, I'm like, here we go.
Yeah.
And now you're on offense watching defense give up two quick scores on some wild plays. Like, how do you respond and how did Mizzou respond?
Yeah, no, well, first of all, Mizzou responded, just like, you would expect a team,
Mm-hmm.
really a veteran-led offense to respond, right?
Yeah,
Because even when you talk about Brady, you talk about Luther, you talk about the transfer running backs, you talk about Theo, you talk about some of the O-line pieces, right? There's a
mm-hmm.
lot of guys that played a lot of football, right?
Yeah,
And you expect those guys to go out there and answer the bell, and they did that, and it took, you know, it took a turnover, it took an interception to kind of, you know helped them get things going. But once they got things going, man, that thing, for about 2.5 quarters, the offense was rolling, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
I think, when you go back and you think about it, man, you know, when you get into games like that as an offense, you're just saying, all right, somebody make a play, right? Somebody
Mm-hmm.
make a play, right? Somebody make a play. Somebody make a play. And I think Luther kind of got them started from that standpoint.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He, like I said, you get the ball in his hands, man. He can do some pretty cool things.
Special.
But then also the run game was going, right? The run game was
Mm-hmm.
going.
Mm-hmm.
But that playmaker to make that play to kind of settle things down a little bit. I think Luther kind of, did that.
Yeah, speaking about Luther and that offense, man, we got to see a little bit more of Mookie this week. I think he was second in receiving yards this week, where you had the week before, Theo goes crazy. And I think even Theo was leading the team in receiving yards right now. But the offense becoming a lot more balanced. It's like from week to week, you don't know who's going to beat you. We do know with Brady at the helm that the more I watch him play, the more confident I am becoming in him. Because even how we finished the game, right? Who closed the game out? It's him keeping it, right?
Yeah.
Now, talk to me about some of the play calls that led to finishing the game, Mac, offensively, and then Spoon, kind of how the defense helped us finish that game out in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, I'm gonna say this right now. I think
Mm-hmm.
offensively, right, and Luther was two penalties in 3 plays, I believe it was, right.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do a better job of keeping your composure and not
Yeah,
doing things to put your team in harm's way, right.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, but I've said this all along, man. Like as far as the receiving room, right, it's not just Luther, right.
It's not.
You got Theo that can go. Mookie's a veteran, man. He's played ball in Ohio State. He's played ball in Mizzou, right? He's
Mm-hmm.
just where he needs to be when he needs to be there,
Yeah.
right? Then you go to the slot guy, Makai like Miller, who can play, right?
Mm-hmm.
The one that I like a lot is Joshua Manning. He's just right now he's behind 3 veteran guys, but I think
Yeah, really good
he's
guys.
gonna have a really really big future.
Mm-hmm.
But you said it the best, man. None of those guys can do anything without Brady getting them the ball, and the way he was able to keep his poise, the way he was able to extend
Mm-hmm.
plays with his legs, the way he scored another touchdown on the ground,
Yep.
right? Like, dude, when you're able to do that in those moments, and especially, what I call them gotta have it plays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Your third and shorts, fourth and shorts, right? Crucial situations, right? Hey, if I get this, we can ice the game, things like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's been huge in gotta have it moments, and I think
Yeah.
that's kudos to his growth and kudos to really his perseverance that he's had since he's been at the University of Missouri.
Spoon, fourth quarter late, we give up a drive that kind of puts it on the offense. How are you keeping your defense engaged so things like that don't happen late in the game?
Oh man, as soon as we get in there the next day, we're watching that. That's what we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna focus on. We're gonna show the good. We're gonna let everybody feel good about what they did. The highlight tape gonna be fresh. The music gonna be
Mm-hmm.
exactly what the guys want. It's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be electric in the meeting rooms, but we're gonna tell the truth. That's one thing you always got to do. You got to tell the truth. You watch the tape. You never get too high.
Mm-hmm.
You never think it's never
Yeah.
as good as you think it is, and it's never as bad as you think it is. But you
Mm-hmm.
watch it, and you learn from it. And I think that has to start from the top. It seems like Coach Drink doesn't make the same mistake twice. And I'm pretty sure
Mm-hmm.
the guys that are on the team are guys of that DNA. So I expect Coach Batum to rally the guys and let them know, man,
Mm-hmm.
this going to be a time in the season where we're going to be in an SEC game that will determine our fate. That we're going to have
Mm-hmm.
a chance to win the game on defense, and this moment will make us stronger in that moment,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll be able to seize the moment at that time. But it's great, like Max said, talking about what 12 is doing over there, and I'm partial to 12 because that I love to see Brady cook. You had one 12 used to
Yeah.
eat, now you got a 12 that's cooking. I mean, I mean, you never know what's coming, man. And speaking of 12, if we had a guy on defense wearing number 12 come up with a pick at the end of the game, if I'm not
Hmm.
mistaken, I
Hmm.
think that Norwood is he rocking 12 too? Norwood?
He might be 12. I'm not sure.
Well, I know
Not sure. Yeah.
maybe not, but
Yeah.
regardless, man, they got the ball back to the guy who can do what he does with it. I know we didn't end on a takeaway. We probably should have on that first play,
Hmm.
but to get
Hmm.
that ball to 12 and watch what he does with number 3, and like Max says, the rest of the guys are just doing a great job. You know, Mookie's so explosive. Theo making the catches, even the mundane catches in the horizontal passing game. It seems like he's taking a step
That was big
in
for
his
us though.
game. He's
Yeah.
Hmm.
he's just taking steps, man, to where he's going to be a guy that, like Max said, probably get his name called pretty early, man. But that defense has to be confident, knowing that those are the guys on the other side, and they're going to pitch and catch this year. You know,
Hmm.
one game may be the offense to close it out with that run
Hmm.
game, or maybe when they can't get it going against a team that's real tough in the middle, that defense will do a good job of reciprocating that on that side and getting that ball back to them and giving them opportunities to make those plays in those gotta have moments.
Yeah, I think you said, I both said it best, man. Complimentary football is
Yeah.
kind of hard to come by at this level. Like, let's be honest, man. In college football, usually has this high-powered offense and the defense is kind of weak. You know what I mean? You start getting complimentary football, I think, at the next level. But to see us be able to, all right, defense, you're up, go get us a stop. Offense, now we need you to get 2 first downs, so and you can call the game. Like that is something I think, like Max said, that shows the maturity of this team
Hmm.
on both sides of the ball, especially with the offense. But it really shows that this team plays together. It feels like they don't see scoreboards because I never saw us feel like the team didn't look rattled. Even where as a fan, I'm at home like, all right, people taking
Second
No,
and
time out.
59 now.
even listen, even like even being there, right? Nobody wavered, right?
Yeah, okay,
Everybody was even killed. There was nobody blowing up on the sidelines. Like even Drink was cool and calm. Like
yeah.
you could tell that like he trusted like what he has on that field to be able to go out there and change things and make it to how it needs to be.
Mac,
Gotcha, gotcha.
when you say that, I think about when Luther got the penalty. I think it was unsportsmanlike, and I saw Drink just walk up to him and say one
Excellent.
thing. That's it.
Yeah,
It wasn't like I saw Jamar Chase today going nuts, and Burrow was trying to calm him down and
yeah,
took his
Pushing
team out
back,
of
yeah.
field goal position and everything.
yeah.
Like I mean, even though Luther got that penalty in the heat of the moment, Drink
Hmm.
trusts him. He trusts his guys to not make that mistake again, where it can hurt the team.